I just started the Dollar Bead Box and Bead Bag subscriptions, and July's theme is all about calm and relaxation. Want to see what's inside? Hey there, I'm Dina. Let's go to the bead mat and open them together. And here are the contents of the Dollar Bead Bag. So the Dollar Bead Bag, you get two sets of strands. You get 3mm and you get 4mm. You get 4 strands each, so you get a total of 8 strands. And they're coordinating with the other part of the box too. So that's the nice thing about this. I used to get the Dollar Bead Box a long time ago. Probably it's been years. It's been years ago. But financially and everything, I had to stop and kind of pick and choose what I wanted to do when COVID hit and all that other good stuff. So I ended up having to stop getting this one. So I started getting it again because of it being coordinated and having similar colors to the bag of the beads plus the beads that come in the box. So now to that point where I can actually start getting it again. So I'm really excited. Alright, so the first strand of the 3mm, you either get the rainbow blue iris or the blue turquoise nebulous luster. And I'm pretty sure I got the matte rainbow blue iris because you can see the purples and the greens and everything in this one. So very pretty. Second strand is either white opal or crystal. And you can see that I got the crystal one because it's very much see-through-y. Very good staple to have. Always good to have some crystal beads on hand. Third one you get is either crystal blue zircon or crystal half blue iris. I got the crystal half blue iris. You can see on some of the sides, you can see that blue shining through, and then the other half of the bead is a crystal color. The fourth one of the 3mm strands is either medium sapphire or matte medium sapphire, and I got the matte color. You can tell that this one is not as shiny as some of the other beads. So that's the 3mm. 4mm, you get a strand of matte blue iris. So here again, you can see the purples and the greens along with the blue. My favorite 3 colors. You get a strand of matte sapphire Maria, and Maria part is that goldish sheen that you can see on some of the beads, and it's like a half sapphire and half Maria type bead, so very pretty. You get a strand of blue opal, very nice, very pretty color again, and you can even see kind of a little bit of variations in it. So it kind of gives you that hint of opal, because opal colors are kind of hard to keep the same type of consistency. So you see some that are a little bit darker than others, but that's what opal does. And that's I really like the color opals, or the beads that come out in opal colors. Then the last of the bead bag is either matte medium sapphire or matte medium sapphire AB. And I think I just got the normal sapphire, because I don't see any AB color on this one. So that is the contents of the Dollar Bead Bag. So meet me back, we'll see what's in the Dollar Bead Box. And here are the contents of the Dollar Bead Box. Now we'll go through the strands first that come in the box, and then we'll go through individually the little bags that come in the box. So the first strand, we were supposed to get some Lucerna bicones, but there was a shipping error. And so they replaced it with this, which is a 6x12mm Czech glass abstract oval in mint blue multi. You get 10 pieces of this. So it's very, very pretty. You get the mint color, which is the green, and then the blue almost comes across as more of a purpley color. So I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it looks almost more like a purpley color, but still very, very pretty. Love that strand. The next one you get is 4mm glass drux in light blue. You get 30 pieces of this. Another really good staple color to have is a light blue color. Goes along with a lot of different stuff. Next strand is a 5x11mm Czech glass olive in blue and white. You get 12 pieces of this. So each bead is a little bit different than the next. Something I love. Very neat. Next strand is 5mm of Czech fire polish and coral beach. You get 25 pieces of this. So it's a multi-strand, so you get some more of a green color, you get the light sapphire color, there's that purple again that was similar to the purple in that first one. This green's similar to that too. And then you get your more brown for the beachy portion of it. Come on, focus. There we go. So those are the different colors you get on that strand. Then the next one would be an either or. So I ended up getting the 3mm Czech glass struck and the multi-metallic mix. You can either get this in 35 pieces of this, or you can get teal half metallic lumi. So I'm pretty sure this is the multi-metallic mix. Another good staple because you got all the different colors of metallics in there. And then the last strand that comes in the box, you get an either or on this one also. You either get a 5mm Czech fire polish turquoise silver travertine in 25 pieces, which is what I ended up getting. Although the silver travertine almost comes across more of like a gold or almost a copper color. It's got a lot of yellow to it, so, but still very pretty, love it. Or you would get a 6mm Czech fire polish and turquoise silver travertine and 20 pieces of that. So that is the strands. So now we'll go through the little bags that you get as well. So the first one here is going to be 10mm Chinese glass laser etched rounds. You either get a star pattern or a peacock pattern, and I ended up getting the star pattern, which if you hold it in the right way, I don't know if I can get it to do it on camera, it almost looks like the Star of David. So, oh, there you go. Now you can see it. So that's really pretty. I like that. Very nice to have. Main reason why I came back and I got the Dollar Bead Box was because I make so many earrings and bracelets, because that's what sells on my table the most are earrings and bracelets. And when you get the Dollar Bead Box like this, you get, you know, just a small amount of some beads, but it's perfect for earrings. So that was the main reason why I went ahead and started getting this box again, so I can make a bunch of earrings with it. Next one you get is a 10 by 25mm pewter cat in silver. You get one piece of that. So it lends itself to a necklace, but that is okay. I like necklaces, so you can see the back of the cat. So it's got dimension to that. So very cute. The next one is going to be 4mm Czech glass strucks and dark aqua. 25 pieces you get of this. So very, very nice, pretty color. The next one are 12mm Czech glass 2-hole pyramids, and they are in jet blue AB. And so these are 2 holes. Let's see if I can get it to where the camera can see the holes. There you go. Now you can see the holes. So very pretty color. Next one is the 6 by 12mm Chinese crystal teardrops in metallic teal AB. You get 4 pieces of this. So these are basically briolets, if you're familiar with a briolet. So they are like a teardrop shape, like that, and then up here at the top is where you have your hole. There we go. Now you can see the hole. So it goes through the top, up there, the thin part of it. I love briolets. I use briolets a lot in earrings. So it's also, that's something I'm really happy for getting. The next one is 12 by 15mm spiral swirl charms in silver. You get 2 pieces of this, and it's the same pattern on both the front and the back. Next bag is going to be 6 by 6mm Czech glass squarelets, either in crystal Maria or copper Maria. Pretty sure I got the copper one because I can see more browns in there. It's not quite crystally, but I could have gotten the crystal one too because that one looks kind of clear too. So it's one or the other, but you get the Maria topping, so you get the more the purples and greens and gold colors is the Maria overlay of. The next one is 18mm Czech glass daisy. It's light blue with copper. You get 1 piece of this. So very, very nice, very pretty. Another good one for a pendant in the necklace. And then the hole goes through right there. So it goes, yeah, you can't really see that because of the colors and everything, but it goes straight through the bead right in here. The next one is going to be 8mm Czech glass tabular spirals in blue marble. So these kind of remind me of little shells, the spiral portion of it. And then you've got the hole going through the center. It goes in that direction. You can see kind of the hole right there in this one. So it goes up and down. The next one is going to be 8mm pewter flowers in silver. You get 2 pieces of this. The hole goes up and down right here, and then it's the same on front and back. Next one I love because it's my favorite colors, and it's a butterfly. It is a 12 by 14mm Czech glass butterfly in navy with silver wash. You get 2 pieces of that, and then they're the same on front and back again. So I love this. And then the last one, you actually get 6 pieces of it, but since they're kind of large, I just put half of them on here. They're 10mm Czech glass Baroque pearl in white. So like I said, you get 6 pieces of this. So it's a nice little pearl, but they're not smooth. They've got edges to it and everything. So very neat. I like that a lot. So that is your dollar bead box for the month of July 2025. So on the next screen, I will have a supplies needed for whatever earring I'm going to come up with here in a minute. And after that, we'll do a short little earring tutorial. Meet you back in a minute. Now that you have all your supplies all out and ready to go, let's get started. So I have most of my little charms that we're going to make for the companion to the earring already made, so that way it's a lot quicker for me to go through this. I just left one of the rounds and then the other 2 over here just to make sure that if somebody's new, they'll know what it looks like as far as difference wise. So we'll start off with the pewter flower. Now the hole for the flower goes through the top of one of the petals and then comes out in between 2 petals down at the bottom. We want to make sure that we're going through the top of the petal first and then coming out in between the 2 petals. Then on each one of these, we're always going to add an 11/0 seed bead. I'm using the Miyuki, but you can use whatever you have on hand. Toho works great. Azuki would work great as well. Czech glass would also work just as good too. And what you want to do is you want to make yourself an assembly line. So we'll have that one first. Our butterfly, there is a top and a bottom. Here is the top of the butterfly because you can see the antenna on this part, and then here's the bottom of the butterfly. So we want our butterfly to be facing the correct direction. So we're going to go from the bottom of the butterfly, which he is actually a little clogged. Okay, so if this happens, you could take your head pin, if this works, and then just kind of push it through a little bit. Just twist it around, punch it through, and then eventually you'll get through that bead. I'm kind of glad that happened, so that way I can show you that, just in case that does happen to somebody. And what it is that whenever they're doing the travertine or the overlay of the silver, sometimes that extra stuff will get stuck in the hole, and that's all it is. So that's all you need to do if that happens to you. So make sure you're going in the correct direction with your butterfly. Go from the bottom to the top of the butterfly with the head pin. And then I'm actually going to twist it a little bit more to try to get down to the end of the head pin because of that extra coating that's in there. There's going to be a little bit of a space. I don't know if you can see that little bit of a space right there. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. But I'm going to let it be. It's such a small space and you're going to have it on your ear and you're probably not going to notice. So always make sure you put a seed bead on at the end. And then now all of your round beads, you'll have 6 of the 3 different colors. All of your round beads are going to be the same, so just pick up one of your round beads and then put one of your seed beads on. So make yourself an assembly line, so do that step first. Now I'm going to show you how to fold these over, and I'm going to do all 3 because there again, if you're new at this, that way you can kind of get a gauge of what you need to do. Just take your chain nose or your needle nose pliers and put it just slightly above your seed bead on your head pin. And what we want to do is push it backwards to create a 90-degree angle, like that. And then you just put that one down. We're going to do the same thing with all the rest of our beads. Just go slightly above the seed bead and then push it backwards until it looks like it's just about a 90-degree angle. And then all your round ones would be about the same. They're going to look just like that. And just take your time with it. Don't force it. If you feel like you've gotten it too close to the bead itself, you can always go backwards and make it straight again, and then try to redo the bend. Or you can always just cut it off and start with a new head pin, whichever one is easier for you. Next step, we need to make our head pins a little bit shorter. So I pick mine up, and then I hold it in my finger to where I can use this as a gauge right there at the edge of my fingernail, and then I'm going to cut off right there. Doesn't have to be exact, it could be an estimate, but I'm going to hold all my beads just about in that same section and on my finger, and then cut off the excess. If I can get it to sit the way I want it to. There we go. So then this one, trying to get it focused so you can see it, will look like that. Just hold on to your extra little portion here with your hand if you can, so that way it doesn't go flying all over your desk. Because I've already lost, I think, 2 or 3 somewhere on my desk. They disappeared. So I'll find them one day when I'm cleaning up. Hopefully my cats and my dog don't find it first. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is we want to make all of our little head pins into charms. So take your round nose pliers, put the end of your head pin that is remaining into your round nose pliers, and I'm going just about right in there. You can see where it's sitting. Well, you did it 1 second. There you go. Kind of sitting right in there. Just gauge it, because these, like I said earlier, are going to be charms and an earring. So you don't have to be exact with it. And then just make yourself a simple loop. So just keep turning until the end of the head pin touches the beginning over here off to the side. And if it looks wonky, or if it starts to get more bent than you like, then just straighten it back up until it's in a way that you like. Then put that little guy off to the side. Then do the same thing with the rest of yours. So this is how the butterfly would look. My camera is focusing on other things on my mat, so I'm trying to get this to focus before I start. That's why I'm pausing. And then that's how my butterfly is going to look. And then the last thing I'm going to do are my little rounds. And like I said, your rounds are all going to be about the same. So then that's what your round looks like. So now you'd get yourself a nice little pile of everything. And then we're going to get our chain out. My kid just stepped into the room trying to figure out what she's wanting. So what we're going to do, we have our link of, I think it's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we have 12. I'm going to put the ear wire on one end, and then I'm going to put this with a jump ring on the other end. And that's just to make it to where it's a little bit easier to hold on to. So we're going to put this on one side. Oh, my cat's jealous now. She's meowing outside my door. And then we're going to open up a jump ring and put the little swirl charm on the other end. I know, Cosmo. I'll be done with recording here in a little bit, kitty cat. I know. Alright, so then that's the charm down on the bottom. Now with the flower and the butterfly, the flower we're going to count down, I think it was 3. Let me look and cheat real quick. 1, 2, 3. Yep, flower goes down 3 of our links. So here's 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to put just the flower sitting right here. So we're going to open up our little round that we made. And then we're going to slide this on to our third link of our chain. and then just close up the loop again. And then we're going to place our butterfly next. Our butterfly goes 4 down from that, I believe. I'm double checking myself. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep, the 4th link down from where it's sitting, where the flower is sitting. So go ahead and open up your butterfly. And then I'm holding it in my hand so it's a little bit easier. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm putting the butterfly on. And then now you should have 9 links available that have absolutely nothing on it, or just your little charm down here in the bottom, because we're going to put 2 links down here with the last link of chain. So we're going to put 2 of our charms down here. Then we're going to work ourselves all the way up to the top and putting 2 charms on each of our links, but then we're going to skip the links that we just put these 2 on, so the flower and the butterfly don't get any extra links. Also, the link up here at the very top where the ear wire is attached to, you're not going to have a link, you're not going to have any charms on that either. So this is how I did my pattern. I started off with 2 down on the bottom. I did another 2 of the 4mm, and then the next ones I did a 4mm and then a 3mm, and then I did the same thing on the next. Then the one after that is going to be 2 of those guys. Then we go to the 3mm druck and then the 3mm fire polish, and then do that again. And then you end up with 2 rounds of just your 3mm fire polish. Now I'm holding it in this way, kind of a left and right type thing, because I'll show you what I mean, what I'm going to try to do. And then I'll let you finish it off, and then we'll come back and see the final product. Now when you're looking at your chain, this is why I suggest to use either a curb or a Rolo chain, because you have chains that are going in this direction that are facing you, and then chains that are going in the opposite direction that are facing away from you. So what you want to do is try to get your charms on either side of the chain. So this one I have it on the right hand side of that particular loop compared to where the charm is sitting, or the jump ring is sitting for the charm. And then you just want to close this guy up, which I think I kind of opened him a little too far. We're going to get that little guy closed up. I'll fix him here in a minute. And then we're going to open this one up. And then we're going to try to put this one on the opposite side of that particular link. So see how I flipped it over, and now the charm is sitting on the left hand side of that link. I'm going to put this charm on the right hand side. And it's just because I flipped the link or the chain around. When you flip the chain around, it just makes it easier for me to put the charms on the right hand side. And then that's what I did. So I just added 2 charms to each one of the links, and then I just varied the colors as I was getting close to being to the end of that particular color, and then just making sure that you're skipping the links that have the butterfly and the flower, and then you should be something similar to this at the end, where you should have your last 2 crystal 3mm fire polishes on the second link to the top, and it should look like that. So go ahead and get that done, and then we'll look at the final product. And there you have it, your delightful butterfly tied earrings. This quick and charming earring project, crafted from the fabulous July Dollar Bead Box and Bead Bag subscriptions, is sure to spark your creativity. I hope it encourages you to mix and match your beads for beautifully soothing designs. Remember to sparkle some love by liking and subscribing. And don't forget to peek at the description for all the extra goodies I use to make this journey easy and fun.